Alright, so we are going to get started on adding fractions with common denominators, which will be a little bit different than what we've worked on so far, but we're going to call this adding fractions with common denominators. Okay, and our date today is 1/28. Okay, so obviously we remember our rules for adding common denominators, or adding fractions, excuse me, is to find a common denominator. Well, with this, the that part is taken out and done for you. So we are just going to practice adding some fractions and reducing. All right, so the first fraction that we're going to add is going to be, excuse me, 6/9 plus 1/9. Okay. Remember, our steps for adding fractions without common denominators is first to find a common denominator. Second one is to find the equivalent fraction for each of these using that common denominator. Third step would be add our numerators. Fourth step is to ignore denominators, and fifth step is to reduce. So the first two steps are done for us because both of these fractions are written with a common denominator. So then I just skip to step 3, which says to add my numerator straight across, 7, and then I keep my denominators the same, and I then can decide that 6/9 plus 1/9 equals 7/9. And I can go through my list of numbers, try to reduce. 7 only reduces by 7. 9 does not reduce by 7, so this is my final answer. Okay. Another one we're going to practice here is going to be 3/8 plus 1/8. Okay. Again, first two steps, find a common denominator and the equivalent fractions, are done for us here. So all I need to do is step 3, which has add straight across my numerators, which is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then 8 is my common denominator that carries straight across. Now as I go through here, I can decide that both of these fractions can be reduced by 2 because they're even numbers. So I'm going to divide by 2/2. Remember why it's 2/2 is that this is reducing the problem by 1 whole, not by 2, because that would give us a different answer. Okay, so 4 divided by 2 is going to give me 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. As you can see that I'm not done, I'm going to divide it by 2/2 again. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now I know that my answer is done because 1 is my numerator. I cannot reduce that anymore. 1/2. Okay. So as you look back at this sum of fractions right here, the answer to our addition problem, what could I have reduced it by to go through in one step? Correct, 4. 4 divided by 4 would have been 1. 8 divided by 4 would be 2. Very good. Okay, well then let's try 4. I'm going to move that up for you, sorry. 4/18 plus 2/18. Okay, so again, I skip right to step 3 in our rules for adding fractions. And 4 plus 2 equals 6. 18 and 18 are my denominators that carry straight across. So I have 18 there. Alright, so now we again see that there is one number that we can reduce this by that'll go fairly quickly, and that is a 6, because 6 goes into 6, and 6 goes into 18, so I can reduce by dividing by 6/6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Well, let's say that you didn't know that 6 and 18 share a factor of 6 to reduce it. Well, could I do this in a couple more steps? Sure can. So I'm going to divide each of these by 2/2, or I'm going to divide this fraction by 2/2 because they're both even numbers. So I get 6 divided by 2 is 3. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Then as I look at this, I know that 3 and 9 are both divisible by 3, so 3 over 3 divided by gives me 1/3. So you can see here that when I reduce completely, I still end up with the same answer. And if you notice, dividing something by 2 and dividing it by 3 is the same as dividing it by 6 because 2 times 3 is 6. So what we're doing here is on the top we did it in 1 step, and here on the bottom we did it in 2 steps. But my answer still is 1/3. So there's not a lot to do here. What I'm mostly looking for you to be able to do is add your numerator straight across and be able to reduce. Okay, so here are some examples. This one didn't need to be reduced. These two did. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you about 2 or 3 problems here that I want you to do on your own, and we will check them together when you come in. Thank you. So let's go with number 1 is going to be 3/12 plus 6/12. Nope, gotta move that all the way up for you. Sorry about that. So 3/12 plus 6/12. Number 2 is going to be 4/16 plus 6/16. And again, I know these denominators are pretty big, but I want to be able to reduce here. And third one is going to be 6/24 plus 10/24. All right. The final reduced fraction for all of these should be different. All right, so if you're reducing, keep that in mind that the answer to 1, 2, and 3 will all be different. All right, good luck.